What if I told you the most valuable thing McDonald's sells isn't the Big Mac? It's not even on the menu. For decades, we've seen the golden arches and thought, burgers, fries, fast food. But the real secret to their colossal multi-billion-dollar empire has nothing to do with what's in the bag. It's the land underneath the restaurant. This is the story of how a humble hamburger stand became one of the biggest real estate companies on the planet, all while hiding in plain sight. Our story doesn't start with a global corporation, but with two brothers and a brilliantly simple idea. In 1940, Richard and Maurice McDonald opened their first restaurant in San Bernardino, California. It was a pretty standard drive-in, but the brothers were obsessed with one thing: speed. They quickly saw that most of their money came from just a few items: hamburgers, fries, and drinks. So in 1948, they did something that seemed crazy at the time. They shut down their popular restaurant to completely re-engineer it. They brought in the Speedy Service System, a kitchen assembly line that was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. No more car hops, no waiters, and practically no waiting. They slashed the menu to the basics, which let them serve good food, incredibly fast, for only 15 cents a burger. The McDonald brothers weren't trying to take over the world. Their goal was actually pretty modest. They wanted to make $1 million by the time they hit 50. They had perfected a single, wildly profitable restaurant. They were masters of food service, and for a while that was enough. They'd made their dream a reality. But that dream was about to slam into a man with a vision that was infinitely bigger. That man was Ray Kroc, a sharp 52-year-old traveling salesman who sold milkshake mixers. In 1954, Kroc got a shockingly large order for 8 of his machines from a single burger stand out in California. He was so intrigued he had to go see it for himself, and what he saw absolutely floored him. The non-stop lines of customers, the seamless efficiency of the kitchen. Kroc didn't just see a burger joint, he saw a blueprint for the future. He pictured those golden arches stretching from coast to coast.
The McDonald's brothers weren't so sure. They'd already tried franchising with so-so results and were happy with their operation. They worried that expanding too fast would kill the quality they'd worked so hard to achieve. But Kroc was nothing if not persistent. He finally wore them down and convinced them to let him lead their franchising efforts. In 1955, Ray Kroc opened his first franchised McDonald's in Des Plaines, Illinois, and the McDonald's Corporation we know today was officially born. Kroc had endless ambition, but his pockets weren't deep at all. The deal he'd cut with the McDonald brothers was starving him of cash. His only take was a tiny 1.9% of a franchisee's sales, and he had to give the brothers 0.5% right off the top. That left him with a measly 1.4% to run the entire company, pay his staff, and fund the massive expansion he was dreaming of. The brand was growing, sure, but Kroc's corporation wasn't profitable. He was drowning in debt, even borrowing against his own life insurance just to keep the lights on. The franchisees were doing great, but Ray Kroc and the McDonald's Corporation were speeding toward bankruptcy. He was losing control, and his dream was about to fall apart. He needed a miracle, and it came from a financial wizard who saw what Kroc couldn't: the real estate solution. The man who changed everything was Harry J. Sonneborn, a brilliant executive Kroc hired in 1956. After one look at the company's finances, Sonneborn saw the fatal flaw. He then delivered the line that would change business history forever. "You're not in the burger business, you're in the real estate business." Sonneborn's idea was revolutionary. He told Kroc to forget about the 1.4% from burger sales and start focusing on the actual property. The plan was simple. The McDonald's Corporation would buy or lease the land and building for every new restaurant. Then they would sublease that property to the franchisee. This was the light bulb moment. All of a sudden, McDonald's had a second, much more powerful way to make money. Franchisees now paid the corporation not just a small royalty on sales, but also rent. And this wasn't just passive rent collection. The company would lease the property to the franchisee at a markup of up to 40%. This created a steady, reliable stream of cash that had nothing to do with how many hamburgers they sold. In 1956, they established the Franchise Realty Corporation, a new entity just for holding the real estate. The true genius of the Sonneborn model was that they used the franchisees' own money, their security deposits, to make the down payments on the properties. The franchisees were basically buying the land for the corporation. This new strategy didn't just rescue the company, it made it unstoppable. The income from rent gave Kroc the capital he desperately needed to grow. After implementing the model, McDonald's opened 68 new restaurants in a single year. By 1960, there were more than 200. Even more importantly, it gave Kroc total control. Before, if a franchisee wasn't keeping a store clean or was skimping on ingredients, Kroc had very little power. Now, he was their landlord. If a franchisee didn't stick to the brand's strict standards, the corporation could simply refuse to renew their 20-year lease. The threat of losing their entire investment and the physical location was a powerful tool to ensure every McDonald's looked and felt the same. The tension between Kroc's massive vision and the brothers' cautious style finally boiled over. In 1961, Kroc bought them out for $2.7 million, a number he thought was absurd at the time. In a final, bitter twist, the deal excluded the original San Bernardino restaurant. Furious, Kroc later opened a brand new McDonald's just a block away, which eventually drove the brothers' original shop out of business. Today, Harry J. Sonneborn's strategy has created a real estate empire that's almost hard to comprehend. The numbers are mind-boggling. As of late 2023, McDonald's had over 41,800 locations around the world. The company has stated about 95% of its restaurants are owned and operated by franchisees.
While the exact numbers shift, the corporation owns the land for a huge percentage of its restaurants and the majority of the buildings themselves. This property portfolio's value is estimated to be over $40 billion before depreciation. That makes McDonald's one of the largest commercial real estate owners in the world. To put it in perspective, the value of its real estate accounts for a massive portion of the company's total assets. In 2023, McDonald's brought in over $25 billion in total revenue. A huge chunk of that came from franchisees. For the full year of 2023, revenues from franchise restaurants, which includes both rent and royalties, was over $15 billion. This franchise model is incredibly profitable. Analysts estimate that the profit margin on revenue from franchisees is over 80%, while it's closer to 16% for stores the company operates itself because of much higher overhead. It's a business model hiding right under our noses, and seeing these hidden mechanics is how you truly understand the world's biggest companies. If you're enjoying this secret history, do us a favor and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next story. This real estate-focused model became the engine for McDonald's global conquest. It created a perfect growth loop. Rent from existing stores funded the purchase of new properties, which generated more rent, which allowed for even faster expansion into more than 100 countries. The strategy is so powerful because it insulates the company from the ups and downs of the fast food industry. When the economy slumps and people buy fewer burgers, those rent checks keep rolling in. The lease agreements usually last for 20 years and often include clauses that guarantee a minimum payment or a percentage of sales, whichever is higher. This means McDonald's gets a piece of the upside when a restaurant does well, but is protected on the downside. It's a landlord's dream come true. So, is McDonald's a burger company? On the surface, yes, but for more than 60 years, its true identity has been something far more powerful and profitable. As Harry Sonneborn once put it, the only reason they sell 15-cent hamburgers is because they are the greatest producer of revenue from which our tenants can pay us our rent. The burgers and fries aren't the final product. They are the mechanism. They generate just enough cash flow to allow thousands of small business owners to pay rent on some of the most valuable, strategically placed real estate on Earth. McDonald's doesn't just sell you a Big Mac. It uses that Big Mac to become your landlord. It's a real estate empire that just happens to sell food, and that is the secret ingredient to its unstoppable success.
Like, subscribe, and follow for more money secrets.